He texted me at 1:14 a.m. Not her, him. A message that shouldn't have existed, a name that shouldn't have been on my screen. A single line glowing in the dark. She's fun when she loosens up. No emoji, no context, just that. I stared at it for a long time, feeling that familiar, quiet tightening in my chest. Not panic, not anger, just confirmation. A whisper of something I had tried to ignore for weeks. And then, like a film reel snapping into place, the scene returned. The party, the music, her laugh. Too soft, too careful, too rehearsed. His hand slipping around her waist as if it belonged there. She didn't flinch. She didn't step away. She pushed me instead. Called me toxic. Told me I was imagining things. And I remember standing there with a smile that didn't reach my eyes, telling myself it was nothing, telling myself she'd never cross the lines she asked me to respect. But the text said otherwise. I didn't reply. I didn't wake her. I didn't ask questions. I just closed the message, placed the phone face down, and stared at the ceiling, letting the silence stitch itself into something sharp enough to cut through denial. Something had shifted, and I already knew. Tonight wasn't the end. It was the beginning of the unraveling. The next morning she acted like nothing was wrong. She brewed coffee, hummed the tune from the party, asked me if I slept well. I watched her carefully. The way she avoided my eyes when she mentioned the party, the way she laughed a little too loudly at her own stories, the way she kept checking her phone but turned the screen away from me. Her guilt wasn't loud. It was quiet, polite, practiced. She thought she was hiding it well. I let her talk. But a different part of me, the part she accused of being too observant, too sensitive, too aware, began replaying every moment from the last 2 months. The late replies, the unexplained weekend shifts, the sudden discomfort when I entered the room while she was on call, the way she pulled her phone closer to her chest when notifications appeared. Little details, fragments, a mosaic forming behind her smile. Still, I didn't confront her. Not yet. I simply listened, nodded, pretended. And with every word, the truth grew heavier. Not because it hurt, but because it confirmed something I had been refusing to see. She wasn't mine anymore. She hadn't been for a while. But I needed certainty, not suspicion, not emotion. Evidence. I started quietly. Not with accusations, she'd expect those. Not with anger, that would give her something to defend herself against. I started with observation. Patterns, timing, routes she forgot she told me about. I checked mutual friends' posts, her reflection in the background of a photo she said she wasn't at, her coworker tagged in places she didn't know he went to. Small inconsistencies, piling up like dust on untouched shelves. Her phone stayed face down more often. She turned off previews. Her laughter changed, sharper, lighter, like she was trying to convince herself she was happy. I noticed everything, and I said nothing. The truth doesn't need heat to rise. It only needs time. One afternoon, while she was showering, her smartwatch lit up on the counter. A name, the same name that had texted me that night. A message preview slipped through before the screen went black. Last night was risky, but worth it. My pulse didn't even jump. Instead, something inside me settled. Finally. But I didn't open the message. I didn't touch anything. I just stepped back, hands in pockets, letting the pieces fall into place exactly where she left them. Later that night, when she smiled at me over dinner, I smiled back, calm, practiced, unreadable. Let her think she was winning. Let her think she was clever. The truth was a door, and she was walking straight through it without knowing I held the key. The final confirmation arrived in an unexpected form, a mutual friend's story, a short clip from a company event. She didn't see the camera behind her. She didn't notice the moment his hand slid around her waist, the same careless touch I witnessed at the party. But this time, she leaned in, comfortably, naturally, like someone who had done it before. I watched the clip once, just once. It was all I needed. So when she came home that evening, I didn't say anything cruel. I didn't raise my voice. I simply handed her my phone. The video paused on the frame where her smile met his shoulder. Her face drained, not from guilt, but from fear of what came next. She started. I raised my hand, just slightly. "Don't explain," I said quietly. "I already know." Her mouth trembled. For the first time in months, she had no script. I didn't shout. I didn't accuse. I didn't demand apologies. I simply walked past her, into the bedroom, and opened the closet. My side was already empty. I had packed the night she called me toxic for protecting her. I watched her eyes widen as she noticed the missing space, the clean, untouched hangers. "Wait, why? You're overreacting," she whispered, shakier than I'd ever heard her. "No," I said calmly. "You taught me something last night." Her brows furrowed. "You taught me what you think toxic looks like." I picked up my bag, swung it over my shoulder, and met her gaze. "And I realized this morning," a pause, soft, measured, "you've been living in the reflection of your own word, not mine." She gasped, a small, broken sound. But I didn't stay long enough to hear the rest. I walked out before she could rewrite the story to make herself the victim. I didn't feel triumph. I didn't feel heartbreak. I felt clarity, the type that arrives only when the noise finally stops. Some truths don't explode. They dissolve. As I stepped into the cool evening air, the weight I'd been carrying for months slipped off quietly, like dust shaken from an old coat. I didn't look back, not once.